Hello, everybody. And, okay, so I know you read the title. I promise this is not a joke. I know it sounds like one, but I swear I am being 100% serious. So anyway, this is the Pinkie Pie God theory. It sounds so stupid, but it makes so much sense. Okay, so many times in the show, we see Pinkie Pie, go around and do things that it seems like only a unicorn or a Pegasus, or sometimes even those things couldn't do. And Pinkie isn't a unicorn or a Pegasus. She's just an earth pony, so she can't fly and she can't do magic. So it happens a lot. It doesn't really, like you would say, if that only happened a few times, I would just put it up to coincidence. But it happens a lot. Let me show you some examples.
And higher, and then Rainbow Dash swooped down, swoosh, and right before she hit the ground, shoom, she pulled up.
Okay, now I don't think I need to really explain what is going on in that video. You just saw it. She flew for an entire second. So yeah, here's the next one.
Hi there, have you seen Rainbow Dash? Okay, thanks anyway. Twilight, have you seen Rainbow Dash anywhere?
Isn't she right up there?
Rainbow Dash!
Phew, that was close.
Hi! Hi again! I need a favor, Rainbow Dash.
Oh, forget it.
Okay, so in that video, from watching the show, we know that Rainbow Dash's entire thing is speed, and she set new world records 3 times throughout the show of how fast people were flying. And also we know that flying in the show is just objectively faster than walking. Yet Rainbow Dash is flies somewhere that Pinkie Pie would have no way of knowing she was there, and Pinkie Pie is just there. And that happens twice in a row. How would Pinkie Pie know?
Okay, one more smidge meter to the Pinkie Pie! Perfect. Now, wait for my signal.
Okay, now that one might need a little more explaining because it doesn't really seem like Pinkie Pie's doing anything crazy there. But, I get how she could know Spike was in the building because there were windows. But how could she know that Spike was gonna come out at that exact moment? Because they stopped moving the cloud as soon as Spike came out. And he had, not as soon, 3 seconds before he came out. Which they either have to be able to predict the future, or my theory has to be correct. On to the next one. By the way, this is the weakest piece of evidence. There's lots of stronger pieces of evidence in this scene specifically later.
You know, Pinkie Pie, you're not as annoying as I thought. You want to hang out?
That'd be... I'd really... When would you...
A simple nod will do.
Not much explaining to be done there. She just started flying for no reason. She sneezed herself a mile? You don't move when you sneeze. Horses also don't move when they sneeze.
Pinkie Pie, you are so random.
Hey, Dash, think you got enough gas left to beat me to that cloud? A race? You are so on!
1, 2, 3, go!
Hey!
I win! As if I won, dude!
No way!
Yes way!
Oh, come on! I was way ahead of you.
I don't think so.
Oh, gee,
Remember back in camp?
There is no way you beat me.
Whatever.
Wow, guys, that was really close. But I think Rainbow Dash beat you by a teeny-weeny itty-bitty hair. Or a teeny-weeny itty-bitty feather.
Ha! See? Good thing Pinkie Pie's here to keep you honest, G. Okay, Dash. Last one to that cloud up there is a gnarly dragon egg. Go! I think the high altitude is making you dizzy.
Wait, guys! Wow, you guys almost got away from me that time.
So, Dash, got any new moves in your Trictionary? Or are you 100% old school?
New moves? Sit back, G. This is gonna take a while.
Hey, Pinkie, come here.
Yeah?
Don't you know how to take get lost for an answer? Dash doesn't need to hang with a dweeb like you now that I'm around. You're darking up the sky, Stinky Pie. So make like a bee.
Okay, that one has a lot to unpack. Firstly, she's on a trampoline, trampolining above the clouds, which is not how trampolines work at all. Then, and also we see that there's no balloons at all near the trampoline. Then she is floating up with balloons about 2 seconds later. The balloons get popped, and then she has this weird Dr. Seuss machine that would not at all function, and it's clearly powered by her pedaling. But halfway through, she stops pedaling, and propeller is still turning. Gilda's grabbing onto it, so it would still be flying even if she wasn't, but the propeller is still turning. So, like, what is happening exactly? Yeah. Next clip.
Me? I threw this party to improve your attitude. I thought a good party might turn that frown upside...
Not much to explain there. She turned her head 180 degrees over. And guys, I know this doesn't seem like a lot of evidence, but this is one episode. Those are all in the same episode. And it's not just like a one-off episode where this happens. This happens in almost every episode that Pinkie Pie is in. Even the ones where she just has like a one-off bit, usually that one-off bit is her doing something like this. And I know, this isn't even scratching the surface of the evidence. Let me show you the most damning piece of evidence of all of it.
Why don't we ever smash into Rainbow Dash? You're looking for Rainbow Dash? If I was her, I'd be at Sugar Cube Corner. Of course, if I was anyone, I'd be at Sugar Cube Corner. Hey, I have an idea. Want to go to Sugar Cube Corner?
Well, we're sort of looking for Rainbow Dash so we can hear how she got her cutie mark.
Cutie mark? Come with me and I'll tell you how I got mine.
Why not?
All right! My sisters and I were raised on a rock farm outside of Ponyville. We spent our days working the fields. There was no talking. There was no smiling. There were only rocks. We were in the south field preparing to rotate the rocks to the east field when all of a sudden... I never felt joy like that before. It felt so good I just wanted to keep smiling forever. And I wanted everyone I knew to smile too. But rainbows don't come along that often. I wondered, how else could I create some smiles?
We better harvest the rocks from the south field.
Pinkamene and Diane Pie, is that you?
Mom, I need you and Dad and the sisters to come in here, quick! Surprise! You like it? It's called a party! like it. Oh, you like it! I'm so happy! And that's how Equestria was named.
What?
Okay, so first of all, Pinkie Pie just appears on the back of a moving vehicle, which is weird, but not the main thing I'm talking about in this scene. The main thing I am talking about is the whole flashback. So, you could just take it at face value. But at the end of it, this is like the episode where they're explaining how they got their cutie marks. Instead of her just saying, "This is how I got my cutie mark," she says, "And that's how Equestria was made." Which doesn't make much sense at first if you think about it, does it? Unless you think about it in terms of metaphors. So I know that it's explained away in the show that it's just Pinkie Pie being Pinkie Pie, but no one ever confirms this. It's just like said it's probably just Pinkie Pie being Pinkie Pie. It's never confirmed or denied by Pinkie Pie. So, if you think about the flashback in terms of metaphors, it makes a lot more sense. So, what I'm thinking, this scene is the main focal point of the theory, and there's evidence all around the entire show. So, I'm thinking the rock farm is a metaphor of all of the different worlds, and her family is the other gods. So I'll talk about my theory about which other characters are gods later on, because there's a few characters I think are gods. Pinkie Pie is just the most important, obviously, because she's one of the main characters. So what I think was that all the gods were bland and dull, as we saw. They were all bland and dull until Pinkie Pie saw the giant sonic rain boom. And I think that the rain boom is a metaphor for the first, I know this sounds dumb, but it's Pinkie Pie, so it makes a lot of sense. The first ever spark of like fun in the universe or happiness or whatever. And Pinkie Pie was like, "Oh, that's cool. I want more of that," because we know that she saw the rain boom and wanted more. So she created the first ever party, which is also a metaphor for the creation of Equestria, which was meant to be like this whole perfect world where everyone was always having fun all the time. Of course, it didn't turn out that way, but it's less dull. It's not dull. And at first, Pinkie Pie thought the other gods wouldn't like it, but in the end, they did. And the reason Pinkie Pie exists on Equestria at all, I think, is because she originally was just observing it, but eventually thought, that place seems cool. I want to go there. So she created this entire life for herself and spawned herself in in her mid-20s, because that's how old the characters are. And was just a character. And I think her family that we see later on in the show, and not in flashbacks, are meant to represent the other gods. And they also were like, this place seems cool, I want to go there. So they added themselves to Pinkie Pie's world. I also think Cheese Sandwich is another god, but he just added a different backstory for himself. And Pinkie Pie, I'm thinking, because we see in the episode where Applejack's family goes to see Pinkie Pie's family for, it's not called Thanksgiving, but I think it's Hearthwarming Eve, which is their version of Christmas. And they just all can eat rocks. But when Applejack tries to do it, she breaks her tooth. And all of Pinkie Pie's family just can do it. And I can't speak. There's also a lot of scenes where she'll go into a bush or something or a tree, and she'll come out of another one, and no one ever mentions it. Also, there's the whole Pinkie sense thing, which appears in a few episodes where she can just sense things. She can just predict the future, and it's never explained. Also, I mean, we know a little bit about her backstory, but we don't know much about it. Like, she just made the bare minimum. Also, I mean, that's the same with other characters, but not all the other characters. And, I can't talk. And, also, a lot of the time, we just see her take her party cannon out of nowhere. And the party cannon is bigger than she is. So there's no way it was just behind her, because it's bigger than she is. And she just makes it appear a lot of times. And Cheese Sandwich also makes stuff appear a lot of the times in the freaking 3-episode season. I wish he was in more. But, and also we see Maud also has the Maud sense, which is the same thing as the Pinkie sense, except Maud sense. And there's just so many different examples of stuff like this happening, and it's never explained. And also, in the second to last episode, when they're fighting, when they finally get Grogar's bell back that has Discord's power in it, Pinkie can just hold that power, like just in herself. And we know that none of the other people could control that, because we see Cozy Glow try to, and she just can't control it. But Pinkie Pie can control it perfectly well, which doesn't make any sense unless she's a god. And there's just so much evidence to this theory. It's insanely stupid, but there's so much evidence that, it just makes sense. And let me think if there's anything else I can think of that's evidence for it. Right. Also, Pinkie Pie just, like, gets things right a lot of the times. Like, at one point in the Equestria, I'm also thinking that the Equestria Girls Pinkie Pie is the god of that universe, because more stuff like that happens. In the Equestria Girls movies, at one point, when Twilight hasn't revealed that she's a horse princess yet, and Twilight's like, I need to tell you guys something. Pinkie just is like, is it that you're a horse princess from another world? And just gets it all right, with no evidence of that ever being true. And there's just so many moments like this, and it's like it's in almost every episode of the series. Something like this will happen, and it's just insane. So guys, I am hoping that you agree with my theory. And if you clown on me in the comments, even though, and if you don't give me constructive criticism, if you give me like, this is wrong, and you can give me constructive criticism, I'm fine with that. But if you're just like, this is wrong, and you're stupid, then I'm gonna ban you from my channel. So, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.